Peace, peace, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. And here is where the marginalized people reside. The money does not reside here. No, 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 no. The marginalized resides right here, though. You can always find the marginalized. Estamos aquí, you know what I'm saying? Escucha, estamos en la lucha. Comprendes? Alrighty. Welcome everybody to the program. Thank you all so much for checking us out. This is going to be a short and sweet episode, a live episode of Burn It Down with Kim Brown, because I, believe it or not, have something else to do. I have something else to do. If you go to the community section of the channel, you will see a picture there, a photo of the book cover of my friend Justine Barron's most recent book. I don't know if this is Justine's first book or not. Anyway, it's a banger. I've been listening to it for the past couple days. It's called They Killed Freddie Gray. And it goes into the anatomy of a police brutality cover up. That's the full title. They Killed Freddie Gray, an anatomy of a police brutality cover up, written by independent journalist, investigative journalist Justine Barron. You guys know Justine Barron. Justine's been on the show. You know what I'm saying? Me and Justine stand shoulder to shoulder against bitch niggas like David Simon. Y'all know what time it is. So anyway, the good sis, her book is out. It's good. And I'm moderating a panel tonight that is being hosted by City Lights Bookstore out in San Francisco. We got any Bay Area All-Stars? Y'all familiar with City Lights? So anyway, go to the community section of this channel and you will see a link there if you guys want to pop in and ask questions and shit or watch the shit. It's going to be good. Rabia Chaudhry is part of the panel along with Alex Vitale. And one of the witnesses to Freddie Gray's infamous police van stop there in West Baltimore, her name is Sierra Warren. And the ways in which Black women and elderly residents of Sandtown, Gilmore Homes, were excluded from the police investigation, were excluded from State's Attorney's Office, Marilyn Mosby's bullshit prosecution of some of these police officers. Nobody was held to account for Freddie Gray's murder, homicide, as it was ruled by the medical examiner. But anyway, I'm about to get all into the book. So anyway, y'all come in. We starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Holy shit. Y'all know I don't be up this late. So how am I going to stay awake till 11 o'clock? I'm 65 years old and shit. No disrespect to the actual 65-year-olds. And y'all probably stay up later than me. I am no longer a night owl. But anyway. So that's running, like I said, 9 p.m. Eastern. So we got to get in and get out of this Burn It Down with Kim Brown thing over here. So I'm going to get into my show here in a second. Please give the video a like and a thumbs up. Big up to all of our Black Power Media double dippers, as it were. We appreciate y'all remix supporters as well. I had a good show this morning on the Remix Morning Show. Peace, John Kemper. What's up, Anna Hart? Who did I see else in there? Oh, hey, Latif. Thank you so much for coming through. Big up to my mod. Shout out to the good sis Courtney. As always, Swarry Farry. Love you, Donnie. Afraid not. What's going on, Holly? My son Tyler is here. Shout out to my niece Alicia. Shout out to my niece Valley Girls. You know, I'm shouting people out even if y'all not in here live. What's up, Vesper X? What's up, Pookie Wood? I ain't seen Pookie Wood around this bitch in a while. And somebody told me that they spotted Liu Kang somewhere in these YouTube streets. So we shouting out all of our folks. Present, past, future. It's everybody. Is that Northern Witch DD? Is DD in here? Listen, come through, Nat A. Love you, Nat. Is that Silberg? Fuck, y'all know I can't see and shit, so I'm just be guessing. I be guessing. I'm like, who the fuck? Oh, let me guess. It'd be one of our all-stars, and then another one of our all-stars. So yeah, click on the link and shit. Come check out. You guys, Justine's book is so fucking good. She reads everybody for filth. And she lets West Baltimore contribute to the book in truly West Baltimore styles, like just to let them people talk the way they talk. I love it. Anyway, I want to get into my story. because my story is kind of two stories in one. Because when I saw the first part of the story, it brought me to the second part of the story. I said, the fuck? So, tomorrow, Wednesday, the 23rd of August, is when 5 police officers from Memphis are expected to make their next court appearance in connection with the beating death of Tyree Nichols. Tyree Nichols was pulled over by the Memphis police officers' Scorpion unit, which somehow all of these specialized units, all of these units that are set aside out of the general population, I suppose, of the police force, these motherfuckers end up being terrible, like worser than the regular ass cops, right? So it was announced today by the Shelby County District Attorney that dozens of cases connected to these 5, can't call them rogue officers, because they just doing as they was trained, right? They just doing as they was trained. They didn't go rogue. They was adhering to the standards expected of them by their police department, by the institution of policing as a whole. So I don't even want to say that these 5 Memphis officers somehow were doing something that was not tacitly endorsed, not only by their superiors, but by the institution of the Memphis Police Department and larger American policing generally. But they got caught up and now are facing some serious charges. Well, I want you guys to listen to this package. Will, cue up the package if you could. And I meant to tell you this before we went live. My bad. So there's the first part of the package, right? Is the dumb anchor sitting there previewing the story leading up to the reporter. Are you able? What I want you to do, I want you to pause it. I want you to stop it. Can you pause it and let me say something and then restart it? Are we able to do that, Big Willie style?
Working on it. Give me a second.
Okay, thank you, sir. My bad. We were having some slight technical difficulties before we went live. And I know all of y'all are not astrology buffs, and y'all don't have to be. Again, there's a lot of shit out here in the world and in the universe that does not require your belief in it for it to be so, right? For example, I don't believe in gravity. and yet here gravity is with a hold on my ass every goddamn day. What's up, Will?
Is this the guy you said on the
That's the dumb.
first?
Yes, that's the dumb anchor. So as soon as the
Okay.
dumb anchor tosses it to the dumb fucking reporter, I want to pause it real quick and just say something.
Oh, okay. So
You got. Mhm.
play it and pause it. You want to pause?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right. Just let me know when to pause it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So yeah, I don't believe in
News.
gravity. Well, don't play it now, my guy. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right. So let me set this up for you guys. This is from ABC 24 News in Memphis. And you guys, we listen to and examine and critique and consume a good deal of propaganda on this channel. I feel like that is part of my propaganda mandate, not only to point out the propaganda, but sometimes how insidious it is, how slick it is. Y'all, this shit ain't slick at all that I'm about to play here from ABC 24 in Memphis, because I just want you to remember this basic premise, right? In America, allegedly, everybody is innocent until proven guilty, but not according to this son of a bitch, not according to this anchor. And it's so blatant. It took me aback when I listened. I was like, God damn! All right, terrible. So anyway, we'll go ahead and run that, and I'll let you know when to pause it.
Right now, more fallout from the Tyree Nichols case tonight, and it likely means several, if not dozens, of bad guys will be allowed to go free. That's what happens when you start looking into other cases handled by a disgraced group of Memphis cops who stand accused of killing an unarmed suspect. Those 5 officers were part of the now disbanded Scorpion unit, and today the Shelby County DA's office said at least 30 cases will be thrown out. Those cases now tainted because they were handled by these 5 former officers after the Nichols case. Their testimony would obviously have zero credibility in helping prosecutors get convictions. Our Stephen Pimpo is at 201 Poplar tonight with more
All
on the
right,
widening
pause it.
impact.
Pause it, Will. Hold y'all. Did y'all hear that shit? We're talking about people who have not even faced trial yet. People who have simply been charged with the crime. when you look at the scope of the American judicial system, you guys know, but y'all charges get thrown out all of the time. You know what I'm saying? Police use arrest powers and the ability to charge people on the spot with some fucking bullshit as a method of intimidation, of entrapment, of all kinds of things. So when the media, when the media has already rendered defendants who have not yet gone to trial, when you're calling them bad, these bad guys might be bad guys. So if the people who might be released from jail because they were apprehended by some fucking thug cops, if those people are the bad guys, then what are the cops? Then what the fuck are the cops? Like, there's no pretense anymore, y'all. Any sort of ensnarement in the criminal injustice system, big, small, legitimate, illegitimate, renders you immediately bad by the media. That, I mean, again, I say stunning, or I'm thinking stunning. I should not be stunned, and I'm not stunned. I'm actually infuriated. But listen to this shit. Let's listen to the rest of this fucking package, because the shit did not really get better. It did not get... Shirley, you see that shit? Anyway, go ahead, run the rest of that for me, Will.
Impact of what happened after Tyre Nichols.
In addition to the dismissals, the DA's office also reduced the charges in at least 12 more. That adds up to nearly 100 cases involving the former officers on MPD's Scorpion unit charged in Tyre Nichols' death.
I've never seen the DA's office have to dismiss so many cases because of one incident.
That was attorney Claiborne Ferguson's reaction after the Shelby County prosecutors announced they have no choice but to dismiss at least 30 more cases involving the 5 former Memphis police officers charged in the death of Tyre Nichols, including several of his own clients.
We knew that the Scorpion unit was using excessive force on most of our cases. We were aware of that. We just never had it where it was so obvious and so well documented on film.
Attorney Murray Wells says there are 2 main factors leading to these dismissals.
One, no defense lawyer is going to let any of those 5 testify under oath to anything. And second, if they did, they would be impeached immediately on their actions.
And while Wells says that could increase the number of possible excessive force victims to come forward,
that opens up the city to much broader litigation. It's going to be very easy for anybody to make that claim now.
Both he and Ferguson say it means an untold number of crime victims will never get the justice they deserve.
You've got people who were probably victims of excessive force, and then you have the people who were victims in the community who now will not get justice.
All due to the release of as many as 30 potentially violent or dangerous criminals who will now escape punishment thanks to what these 5 officers did one night in January that the whole world has now seen.
And those people are going to be on the streets only because of the actions of the officers regarding Tyre Nichols.
In Memphis, I'm Stephen Pimpo.
All 5 officers are expected to file pre-trial motions in court tomorrow morning. We'll be there to let you know what happens.
So the default assumption from mainstream media outlets is that if the police arrest you and place you in jail and charge you with anything, then clearly you're there because you legitimately did something. You are already deemed guilty in the court of public opinion before your case has even been heard by a judge, been adjudicated by a jury or anything. There were several things about that package that stood out. First of all, again, the whole tone of it, like, but for the actions of these cops killing, actually murdering somebody, the rest of these bad guys would be held accountable. We wouldn't have these bad guys roaming the streets, as if the murder of Tyre Nichols was the only illegal act ever committed by these 5 officers on the Scorpion unit. Are we seriously to believe that? Are we seriously to believe? Because I don't, and I know y'all don't, right? Murder was the culmination of, I'm sure, a long pattern and practice of illegal activity, ranging from all kinds of shit, from excessive force to false imprisonment, likely to planting evidence, I'm trying not to use the cop speak because I'm on suspects, but they're not fucking suspects if they didn't do shit except be black and exist, like, and have the audacity to be driving through Shelby County, Tennessee. Like, what in the actual fuck is going on here? And the racism just dripping from that package, even though I didn't hear no race, quote unquote, no race coded language, the absence of any people of color, specifically black people, from that package is very telling. From the white anchor to the white reporter to the white attorneys interviewed there. And to be honest, I do not know the racial demographics of Shelby County. I mean, I have been to Memphis lots, and Memphis is black. now how black, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's 40% black. I don't know what's 60% black. It's plenty down in Memphis, right? So I can only assume out of these roughly 100 cases connected to these 5 officers charged with murder, I would assume that most of the defendants likely are black. So how come we not hearing from the black people that have been impacted directly by these police officers, okay? Because y'all know, just like I know, the reason those cops felt comfortable to beat the shit out of Tyree Nichols, right? Beat him until he died. They are likely not treating white motorists in Shelby County, in Memphis, Tennessee, with the same level of force, right? The police know that they're not allowed to beat white people like that. Come on, be serious. Let us be for real here. The police know the extent of their powers, and they know that shit does not extend to white folks, right? So I can only assume that the majority of the cases connected with these police officers involve black or at least non-white defendants. So where's the comment? Where's the reaction from that community? Those most affected by Memphis's Scorpion unit, right? Well, pop up the ACLU junk for me if you could, right? Because there's a couple of things that I thought about when I saw and when I heard about this story. Because, okay, we're talking about roughly 30 to 40 cases. Let's stay on the low end. Let's stay on the conservative side of this, the conservative number side, right? 30 to 40 cases now dropped by the Shelby County District Attorney. What about the people who had cases connected to these 5 officers who already bonded out of jail? Do they get their money back? On a whim, I called a bail bonds place today in Memphis, the all and out bail bondsmen in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, I'm sorry, Memphis, Tennessee, depending on your perspective, I suppose. And I asked them, I said, hey, if I had somebody that was connected to these cases that has been now thrown out by the district attorney, but I helped to bond somebody out and now their cases have been dismissed, what do we get money back? And the nice lady who answered the phone, because of course she was nice because she's southern, nice and southern. She said no. She said that 10%, that's non-refundable. Non-refundable. You heard it right. Non-refundable. So again, because the full details of the actual status of these dozens, 30 to 40 cases that have been connected. And again, I don't know if these 30 to 40 cases represent 30 to 40 people. I don't know if people were charged with multiple counts and maybe these 30 to 40 cases, maybe somebody had one person had 3 cases against them, whatever. I don't know how these 30 to 40 tossed out cases break down. I don't know over how many people we're talking about. But I also could not find in any media reports how many of these people, if any, were still in jail. We know that the bond system and the bail system is fucked up, right? If you ain't got the money, they sit your ass in jail. I mean, it's really that simple. But what if you did have the money? What if you were able to scrape together the $3,000 that is the 10% of the $30,000 bond that your brother, your cousin, your child's father, whoever might have incurred, yeah? You don't get that money back. That money's not coming back to the family. Isn't that funny how that works? White man get paid off of all of that, right? So anyway, so this year, Shelby County the area in which Memphis, Tennessee is located, enacted some bail reforms, okay? Some bail reforms that went into effect in February, which now has Shelby County being amongst the fastest in the nation in which people will receive a bond hearing. A judge has to have, or pardon me, a defendant has to have a judge hear their bail hearing within 72 hours, within 3 days, which in America makes Shelby County one of the fastest places in which a defendant or potential defendant, someone who's been arrested, can get their bond heard, right? Which is stunning in itself. Bagheera is appalled from the background. You guys hear it. Now, these new bail reforms went into effect February. Problem is, Tyree Nichols was murdered in January. So, all of the people arrested, hemmed up, apprehended, potentially falsely charged, overcharged, mischarged by these 5 police departments Scorpion unit, them folks didn't have the benefit of these bail reforms at all, because them terrible sons of bitches was all on the roadways, you know what I'm saying, all up and down I-40. What was it, I-44, coming through Memphis. They was all on the roads doing God knows what to how many people, all before these bail reforms went into place. So my question, were I a member of the local media there in Memphis, were any of these people connected to any of these cases that have now recently been tossed out? Were any of these people still incarcerated? Were they still in jail? And of the ones that were not in jail, how many of them were granted a bond? And if they were granted a bond, does the county or the state intend to refund any of these monies to these people because of terrible police? Again, the propaganda is so strong. I have to even check myself before, because I was going to say rogue again. And no, Kimberly, no. The cops were not rogue. The cops were doing as they were fucking trained. And let us make no mistake about that. Okay? Okay. So anyway, if y'all find answers to my questions, tell me, because I would like to know. And you hear by the tone and the tenor, you can take that down, Will. You hear by the tone and the tenor of the local Memphis police. I mean, not pardon me. I guess we could call them a branch of the police department, the public relations department, aka the local mainstream press. Just still in the face of police brutality and police murder of an innocent, right? They still align themselves with the police as a universal benevolent force for good, right? Oh, all these bad guys are going to go free because these disgraced cops couldn't stop themselves from killing a black person. Bad guys. I don't see it that way. I do not see it that way. I do not know what these people were charged with. But whatever the fuck they were charged with, simply them being charged does not render them bad, does not render them guilty, does not render them of not deserving their freedom. And don't bring victims into this. I don't know. Again, I can't make those assumptions that there are even victims involved. Who the fuck was, who had Tyree Nichols victimized? No fucking body. So because he was on the receiving end of excessive force and likely was going to be charged with a myriad of things, had he survived, he deserves that kind of treatment from the local press? This is why we have to push back against this shit, y'all. Again, I don't care how big, small, little big, indifferent, apathetic. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to stand here on my little marginalized corner and I'm going to scream my fucking lungs out about this shit. Okay? I'm not going to just let this shit slide right here in front of all of us while we all can see this ridiculousness. Speaking of ridiculousness, let's talk about some like literally turning the coin on the other side of its head when we're talking about the bond system. Let's get your boy Donald John Trump. Trump jumped on social media. Was it today or was it yesterday? Trump said on Truth Social, this is some, well, I'm paraphrasing here, of course, but well, hold on. Maybe I can pull up the article and tell you exactly what Trump said. But Trump basically said that he plans to turn himself into Fulton County officials come Thursday. As we know, Trump is facing some RICO charges there in Fulton County, Georgia, in connection to his his dedication to turning over the election results. The funniest nigga ever on earth is Donald Trump. Every time they run that clip of Trump saying, "All I need is 11,400," I said, "My God." The classed, privileged, elite whites, Jesus, I mean, what coded? Say it in code. Why? Say it in code for what? He telling the man exactly what he wants. Trump was placing an order. Hey, Secretary of State in Georgia, I need you to find 11,494 votes. Period. Point blank. Just like he orders any fucking thing else, right? So anyway, Trump announced on Truth Social that he will be turning himself in on Thursday. He's not happy about it. Pop up that piece for me, Will. This is from Truth Out. And Truth Out was talking about Donald Trump. Damn it, did I not pull up the fucking article? Jesus. Ayúdame. Jesus, ayúdame, por favor. Trump talked about, that's not it. God damn it. Trump was granted a $200,000 bond by a judge, right? Down there in Fulton County. Now, apparently, I do not know how things work in Fulton County because I didn't think that you got a bond until you showed up. But I guess in Georgia, they do all kinds of things different. They put the names and addresses of the grand jurors right there on the indictments, because surely nothing bad can come from that. You got to be transparent and shit. So the Trump supporters know exactly where to go when they put in the addresses of the grand jurors that have indicted their furor, right? So the Trump supporters can know exactly where to go. How else would they know that if it wasn't for Georgia's very quirky state rules? So anyway, for reasons I do not understand, here we go. It said Trump is ordered not to make any social media threats as part of his $200,000 bond. Now I want you guys to parse that, just to put your thinking caps on, like we back in the 3rd, 4th grade. Put your thinking caps on for a second. I want you guys to break down how absolutely ludicrous of a mandate that is. Okay. Trump, hold on, let me pull this up. The attempted indictment. Okay. So the judge granted and imposed a $200,000 bond upon Trump, right? And explicitly said to him or his counsel, or as part of the writ, I don't know, but said, you cannot go on social media to intimidate any of your co-defendants or any witnesses or any other people associated with this case. Okay, witness intimidation is already a law. Right? Making threats on the internet is already a law. So Donald Trump, who credibly, although he has not been charged with this criminally, but credibly can be documented as inciting a riot / insurrection, right? Just at the whim of his voice, at the whim of his word, he can bring thousands to a given location and directly or indirectly point them towards foolery, being public menaces. This is documented. Like, this isn't even in dispute. So the fact that he would be granted a bond at all when Trump is known to not only publicly intimidate witnesses, but also make threats, The special prosecutor, the special counsel associated with the Department of Justice, connected to the charges he's facing out of DC for January 6th, Jack Smith. Jack Smith got a whole protective order against this motherfucker because Trump told that nigga in no uncertain terms, if you come after me, I'm coming after you. And we've already established Trump got shooters out here. Trump definitely got crank callers out here. Trump got a mob that he can assemble at any time. If there was ever a candidate to not be given a bond, Donald John Trump would be the one. Because how can he be granted a bond in connection to a RICO case and given instructions by a judge not to intimidate witnesses when he has known to do exactly that? You know he's going to intimidate the witnesses. You know he's going to post on social media. The best predictor of future behavior is historical behavior, previous behavior. You don't have to wonder what the fuck Trump is going to do once he turns himself in and is out on bond. You know what the fuck he's going to do. So why even grant him a bond? You know why we grant him a bond. Because it's two Americas. It's a different system from the people harassed by the Memphis Police Scorpion Unit who are subjected to excessive force because the cops are given carte blanche to beat the shit out of black motorists, and the kind of treatment that someone like Donald Trump is given, even when he's being prosecuted by black folks, right? Fani Willis, black woman, seemed like she was serious about her shit. We seen the Fulton County clerk last week, Shay. I don't know what the fuck Shay was doing. Shay was lunching. You understand? But at the end of the day, Fannie can bring charges against Trump. You can't keep that white man in jail, lady. You know that. Because there's different roles for whites and for riches, right? And the riches, and that becomes murky when the race comes in, right? When there's rich black people facing some shit, oh, all of a sudden we got to hold, we have to apply the law equally. You know, just because they so and so, just because they got money, don't mean shit. Now, when it comes to white folks, when it comes to moneyed white folks, and maybe not even moneyed white folks, it don't even have to be moneyed, right? So many of these true crime stories that I watch on Investigative Discovery, they be letting these terrible white men out just cause they pawpaw came down and vouched for him. It's like, well, you know, I known his granddaddy. You know, for a number of years, we went, you know, we was in the army together. I just decided, you know, I could let his grandson out, and then all of a sudden the grandson go out and do worse of shit. Jesus. So this is what I'm talking about, y'all. Like, there is no accountability in the criminal and justice system in America, right? Let's add this to our propaganda. Let's add this to our propaganda wheel of the many things that we are out here to tell our people about, right? Like, I know, especially if you're black or even if you're white in this space, I know likely, but the both of y'all's have a lot of liberals in your life of all colors that are, on one hand, excited to see all these indictments for Trump. On the other hand, just aghast at how Trump continues to do so well amongst would-be Republican voters, right? And how Trump continues to show up to court and walk out of the court within the same fucking hour, when we know good and goddamn well that even a non-violent black offender would not be treated with kid gloves, not in the same way. And it doesn't even matter to me that he was president, because he would be given this treatment anyway. America's criminal justice system is not meant to keep people like Donald Trump locked up, right? Even Epstein. Fucking Epstein. They could not keep Epstein in there too long, right? Because either Epstein decided he wanted to be out sooner, or somebody else decided for Epstein that maybe, you know, the longer he sat in that jail did not necessarily mean a better outcome for all parties involved, right? So the criminal justice system is not even set up for a motherfucker like Trump. It is, however, set up for all the people targeted by the Scorpion Unit, all the people targeted by Baltimore's Gun Trace Task Force, all the people targeted by Atlanta's specialized police forces. And we could go on and on and on because every single city and police department has these special forces that are basically given extra latitude to disregard the Constitution, to disregard the basic human rights of folks living in this country, to pad their arrest stats, to fill the jails, because, that's revenue in America. Where would America be if we weren't not keeping in cages 2 million of our citizens, far exceeding any of our so-called democratic enemies like Russia or China? You think Russia got 2 million people locked up? Nope. You think China, with a population of 1 billion, you think they got 2 million of their citizens in cages? Absolutely not. That's an American. That's American exceptionalism. that is America that is exceptional in that way. And again, let us continue to disavow this myth of American democracy, as though democracy is applied equally here. Our criminal justice system is not applied equally here. Tyree Nichols gets a beating for what? For what exactly? And yet Donald Trump basically directed his supporters to hang Mike Pence, and this motherfucker ain't seen the inside of a jail cell yet. Miss me with your American exceptionalism. All right, y'all, I'm gonna push. Do me a favor. Go to the community section. If you want to come, by the way. I encourage y'all to come, because I'm coming to the City Lights bookstore panel discussion that I'm leading at 9:00 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You have to register for it, though, which I thought was interesting. But the link is over there on the page, on the community post, on the channel. You'll see the cover of Justine's book, and scroll down a tiny bit and you will find the link there to register. Like I said, I will be hosting. Justine will be there. Rabia Chaudhry will be there. Rabia is an attorney, activist, local to the Baltimore area. She hosted the Undisclosed podcast. She was very pivotal in the defense and the eventual release of Adnan Syed, the young man who spent 20 years, I believe, in jail after being wrongly convicted of killing his girlfriend. There was a whole bunch of police fuckery within that. Alex Vitale is the author of The End of Policing, also a professor at Brooklyn College, an expert on policing, and Sierra Warren. I think I have Sierra's name right. Hold on, because y'all know I smoke a ton of weed, so sometimes I be forgetting people's names, and that happens, but it's not on purpose. So let me be clear about that. Hold on, let me get this woman's name right. I don't like to be fucking up people's names. Okay, I got that right. Sierra Warren. Sierra Warren was one of the witnesses of one of the van stops where Freddie Gray was injured, potentially fatally, by Baltimore police. And her very credible witness testimony was not utilized by Marilyn Mosby's, the then Baltimore State Attorney, by Marilyn Mosby's office. It wasn't given a lot of credibility by the Baltimore police. And that seemed to be intentional. And it wasn't just Sierra's eyewitness testimony that was disregarded. It was a number of other women and elderly people. For some reason, the state's attorney's office relied heavily on younger and male witnesses as opposed to women, which we'll get into that. We'll get into a lot of things surrounding the murder of Freddie Gray and the cover up by Baltimore police. And the wild shit was, y'all, when I was listening to the book, what I realized was, concurrent to Freddie Gray's murder and the subsequent Baltimore uprising, what was happening at the same time? The Baltimore gun motherfuckers was stealing guns, stealing drugs, planting guns on people, doing terrible things. An elite unit within the Baltimore Police Department. Also, around the time of the Baltimore uprising and the murder of Freddie Gray was the first time that we began to hear about what happened to Keith Davis Jr. Keith Davis Jr. at that time was almost murdered by police set up by Marilyn Mosby's office and the police, and went through all. You all should be very well versed in Keith Davis Jr. by now. If y'all been watching my program, if you are not familiar with Keith Davis Jr., search it out on my channel. Like it's a very compelling story. It just proof positive that there's no reformation. It's not possible. You cannot reform policing. This is what they do. This is how they are trained. We need more training. More training for what? They're already very skilled Klans people, even the black ones. Like, no, dead this shit, in this fucking police shit, redistribute that money to the health department, to the public schools, to the parks and recs, redistribute the fucking money away from the cops. Like, enough of this already. I'm over it. So anyway, let me go calm down and get my shit together and change my shirt and make myself presentable and whatnot. So listen, thank you all so much for watching tonight. Please don't forget to give the video a like on the way out. Tune in tomorrow to the Remix Morning Show. I am not certain I will be there, but because this panel is ending at 11 tonight, and that's a quick turnaround. So I don't know if I'm gonna do the morning show tomorrow, but if I'm not on there tomorrow, watch anyway. Shout out to Lucretia Williams. I know Lucretia Williams is already going to be on the show. So watch Lucretia and the Ear Doctor. And I know Jared's not going to be there. I'm pretty sure Kamal's going to be there, Jacqueline. And we didn't get to Kamal talking to us about the actions that were going on in Atlanta over the weekend. So hopefully Kamal can get into that on tomorrow morning. But regardless, I'll be back on the Remix Morning Show Thursday morning. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing it tomorrow, but it's fine. It's fine. But y'all, fuck with me tonight. If you, well, I probably won't be cussing. I'm gonna go back into journalist Kim. You guys are gonna. I'm gonna put on my respectability a little bit. I ain't gonna go like I go on here, but it's all well and good. So anyway, thank you guys all so much. Tune in if you are able. And thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you. Thanks again. Thank you, Latif, for all that you do. And shout out, is Vesper in here? I don't see Vesper. Anyway, I see Damien. What's up, Stoner Loner? Good to see you in here. Thank you so much for staying up, Damien. Is that Tasia? Tasia, I saw your comment. Thank you, Tasia. Love you, Tasia. Thank you so much for all that you do to support the channel, baby. Thank you, thank you. Silberg, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all, I'm gone. Thank you to Will and Molly for doing what y'all do, and we'll see y'all back here on Friday. See y'all later. Bye-bye, y'all. See ya. Bye.